Theron Briette with the first one. Max Cardinal sitting with 3 wins, 6 losses overall, but they played a tough schedule full of ranked opponents. They're coming into today with a 2-match win streak against the number 3 ranked Hawaii, and the first point goes to the Stanford Cardinal. On the other hand, Hawaii, they've been on fire. 10 wins, 1 loss overall. 8 of their 10 wins have been 3 straight set wins. They're on a 7-game win streak. What can you expect from today, knowing last year these two teams split 2 games?
Well, obviously, the Goliath is in the team in white and green right now, but it's just a matter of playing clean volleyball and not getting yourself in bad situations.
Speaking of clean volleyball, quite a clean block. That's Treed Rosenthal for University of Hawaii up against Teo Snui, and that is how the Rainbow Warriors strike first. It will be Treed Rosenthal, wearing number 13, the junior setter out of Austin, Texas, to serve for the Rainbow Warriors. Good reception. Here's the back set. Just helping it over the net a little awkwardly there was Snui. Blocked, and now Hawaii in system. Back set. Once again, Hawaii strikes, and Max, we're going to see this a lot. They've got some high flyers and some hard hitters.
Oh, absolutely. And these are a very young team, 13 underclassmen for UH. But at the same time, as you see on that last play, just so patient, recycled off the triple block, allowed yourself another opportunity to the far-hand side.
It's Rosenthal once again. An ace for the junior. 14th of the season for the junior setter. Treed Rosenthal is a special talent,
Oh,
Max.
100%. 6'11", he's still growing from what we heard of some of the staff at
Or
Austin,
so
Texas.
it seems.
100%. An AVCA Player of the Year watch list candidate, and man, he does everything for this Rainbow Warriors unit.
There's a serve, a good reception, and flying in from the back line is Alex Rotman, the redshirt junior, strikes for the Cardinal.
Rotman is somebody you want to get involved very early on. He's been sort of that steady hand that Stanford's been using to get themselves back in rhythm, but more than anything right now as Snui takes the back line, it's about getting your serve-receive in play.
Snui, as you mentioned, going for the ace and just a little bit too long. We were talking before the game. You said you see a lot of service aces in men's volleyball, Max.
Yeah, I don't have an exact number, but it seems like almost 30% of the points in men's volleyball come off of service errors, so it's a matter of just allowing yourself an opportunity to keep this one in play, especially against a team that does so many things so well like Hawaii does.
Adrian War with the big serve. Stanford will just help it over the net. Here's the set from Rosenthal, and flying in, Justin Todd gets on the board for Hawaii.
Todd playing outside hitter in middle blocker. He's been the starting middle blocker, had really huge showings in those 2 sets against Penn State. I mean, he hit 80% last weekend.
Adrian War again to serve, the sophomore outside hitter, 2025 AVCA All-American first team. And that's a big serve and a beautiful reception now on the left side for the Cardinal. Rotman was blocked at the net. He'll try to help it over again, and no good. Once again, Hawaii strikes. Max, how much of this is important for the Cardinal to keep Hawaii in their grasp right now?
Oh, 100%. Evan Porter is going to be a key piece out of Honolulu, Hawaii. So coming up and playing against the hometown team, he is going to be key in getting nice receives and allowing yourself to set up your offense.
Porter, the libero, wearing number 1. He'll let that one go long. And so Stanford will get the serve back, capitalize on the service error, or look to do so. It'll be Luke McFall, the redshirt junior, middle blocker, standing at 6'9" out of Pleasanton, California for the Stanford Cardinal.
McFall, one of those players that had a lot of plays and sets played in the last matchup when it was a lot of the younger players, and he comes out with that ace. That's his first of the season.
Luke McFall, what a way to tally the first ace of the season.
And that's a little bit different than the type of serve he usually puts on. It's very much so more rotation, allowing more of a drop type of serve.
Here's McFall once again. Stanford look to catch up to Hawaii, and he'll do it again.
You know, when it rains, it pours, and you expect a lot of rain coming the way of the Rainbow Warriors, but right now it's McFall showing off his new serve and doing it with authority.
Luke McFall last year, just 8 matches, or excuse me, this year, 8 matches played, 6 of them started coming into today. He's played 20 sets, and that one will fly just long. to the delight of Hawaii, who really had no answer for those two big serves from McFall. So Hawaii will get this serve back. It'll be Justin Todd. Redshirt sophomore outside hitter. He can play outside hitter or middle blocker. Redshirted in 2024. Last year, 28 matches played, started 20 of them at middle blocker. He actually transitioned to middle blocker after beginning his career at outside hitter, so he's versatile. But for Hawaii, he's mainly been playing in that middle blocker role. Here's the setup. Hawaii strikes again. This time it's Sakanoko.
Yeah, Sakanoko doing a terrific job on that read right there. It looks like he's shaking his hand a little bit, maybe a little bit of a missed contact. It looks like rather than trying to power through, he was going ahead hunting those fingers, did so successfully. But let's see if this affects him, as he is the leader of the team in kills coming into tonight.
Justin Todd on the serve once again.
Nasty one.
Beautiful take in the back line of the Stanford Cardinal. They'll set up again. All the way on the far side, blocked, it'll come back. That one was for Alex Rotman. This one attempted for Wagner, and he'll get it.
Yeah, Wagner came up, and this is the crazy part about men's volleyball if you're traditionally used to seeing the women's game. The athleticism of these guys to be able to have a one Mississippi in the air to think. You saw it, he made the read mid-air and then went with finesse rather than power.
Moses Wagner has been such a key part of the Stanford Cardinal program for a few years, and he's playing a big role again this year. Here's the setup. Right into the middle for Kamana Carrera, who gets things going on his side for the Stanford Cardinal.
That is what you expect to see from the Cardinal offense. Get them out of, or get the other team a little bit washed out and then go with some quick tempo and get those points.
Here's the serve once again. Set. Just off of the hands and out of bounds of the Stanford Cardinal. It was Sakanoko again.
You know, Sakanoko came out there and it looked like he was shaking off that right hand after his first attack, but hey, that man is not hesitating whatsoever, just ripping it off the block, getting the point.
Kainoa Wade, sophomore opposite for University of Hawaii with the service. Flying in from the back line was Snooey. Hawaii with their opportunity and uncontested in the middle. Hawaii's going to get that point anytime.
Yeah, Jordan, one of the taller players on the team at 6'10". You know, your middle blocker just happens to be shorter than your setter, but that's a whole another story. But getting yourself into offense, Stanford went on a little bit of a run of their own, and it's really nice to see the Rainbow Warriors come out and just get a nice, easy point.
It was 10 serving 7. It's a service error. That'll go long, so it will be the Stanford Cardinal with 8 serving 10. That long serve from Kainoa Wade. Actually, club teammates with Evan Porter, we learned before this match. Evan Porter, the libero for the Stanford Cardinal, having Hawaii ties. But this will be Alex Rotman on the serve for the Cardinal, and a good dig in the back line. Here's the setup. Kainoa Wade, speaking of, gets things done for the Rainbow Warriors.
This Rainbow Warriors offense is hitting on all cylinders. I mean, this is a team that's hitting .399 overall. That's number 2 in the NCAA. They're averaging 13.64 kills per set. That's number 3 in the NCAA. They have multiple weapons that can get it done on every point of the floor.
What a dig by Evan Porter on that back line, and it's Snooey to finish it off.
Snooey, another huge piece as he gets above 100 on the season in terms of kills. Snooey, Wagner, and Rotman are going to be key pieces on the offensive side, staying consistent and staying within your system.
Kamana Carrera, sophomore middle blocker, will serve for the Stanford Cardinals, 6'8", out of Mission Viejo, California. There is just no stopping that one, Max. That was Adrian War, and he laid it down.
Funny enough, one of the smaller players on the Hawaii roster at 6'5". It's insane to think of the height, the size, and the athleticism of some of these players, but that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Here's the serve. And Jordan will immediately turn it back over to the Stanford Cardinal, and Cardinal will send their setter to the line. There'll be Theron Briette as we get a timeout on the court.
Challenge. We didn't actually see the C held up by the head coach in Charlie Wade in his 16th season. He went out there and grabbed the green card for us. So old school coach in his 16th year and an old school way of calling that challenge.
Assuming, Max, they're going to be challenging the ruling that serve went wide. Of course, we will wait and find out Our officials today are Bill Forrester, Ray Mink, Dave Ma, and David Autred.
Yeah,
Line
nice
judge.
experienced staff.
Go ahead.
Yeah, very experienced staff. They're coming out there. They're handling business. Raymond Mink Ray, one of our favorite officials, coming out here. He's always cracking jokes with us, whether it's in beach volleyball, men's or women's volleyball. He's taking over the duties right here. But for a challenge for Charlie Wade to do so instantaneously after that service error was called, I mean, you got to feel like he's got to feel confident and that one was in. He had a great vantage point in his ability to see the line on the other side of the net. So I've got a feeling right now that this is going to go the Bows' way.
A veteran status, really, for both coaches here. It's really fun to watch these two square off. Charlie Wade, in his 17th season, he surpassed Mike Wilton as the winningest coach in program history during UH's victory over UC Irvine last year, and we get the call officially. The call will stand, Max.
There we go. That's a little bit of home court advantage here at Maples. And it's interesting to see kind of the differences that you get from Burnham to Maples as well, both the arenas that Stanford plays in.
And so we'll reset. It's there in Briette with the serve for the Cardinal. The setter gets it over the net. Here's the back set for Hawaii, and it was too much heat for Evan Porter to handle.
Yeah, coming out there, Kaino Wade just capitalizing on that play. And in this situation, that is where you wanted to be for Stanford. You had 3 attackers up front. You just need to be able to return it. But, man, just a rocket.
It'll be Rosenthal back to serve again. We learned he came into Hawaii without that spin serve. He's now developed the spin serve to make him even more lethal. Stanford, though, able to handle it that time. He's just 8 aces away from 100. Not sure we'll see it in this match. That would be pretty incredible, but perhaps this weekend if he has a good couple of days. Nevertheless, that one awarded to the Stanford Cardinal. It'll be Teo Snui with the serve just wide.
Yeah, Snui 0 for 2 on his serve to start. He puts a lot under that service attempt and just putting a little too much power sending it to the far-hand side. Adrian Moore, one of the AVCA Player of the Year's watch list members as well, the sophomore out of Lyon, France.
One of the many Hawaiian players with national team experience, a member of France's national team.
We might see a challenge come out of the pocket of John Costi in this situation. They called that ace in the back left corner. This is the 15th point as we see
the
Costi
challenge.
Come and bring it up. Perks of being in Maples, you have a few different camera views allowing you an opportunity to get a look at it.
Absolutely, and this is going to tell you just how important every single point is right now. We mentioned last year they split 2 matches. These 2 teams, they know each other so very well. Overall, Hawaii leads the series with 51 wins to Stanford's 39, but when you look at how these 2 teams have performed here in Stanford at Maples, Stanford actually owns that with 24 wins as compared to Hawaii's 17, and both of these coaches' challenges in this first set, it just tells you, Max, how important every single point is. They're both expecting both of these teams to really grind it out.
Momentum is going to be massive tonight. We saw in the last match, on paper, you see a 3-0 win and a 3-1 win against Penn State, who's the number 15th ranked team. But realistically, watching the film back, this is a team that had to grind through. Yes, you won a 3-0 sweep, but you came 25-22, 25-23, and then ended up just washing them away in the third set, 25-15. So it's a team that's found a way to get it done in clutch situations. And so for Stanford, you cannot let Hawaii come away with free points. You've got to contest everything, and you've got to give yourself a fighting shot.
The call on the floor has been confirmed. So 2 challenges, 2 unsuccessful challenges, Max. You look at how these 2 teams have been performing so far. Hawaii, no attacking error. Stanford, just 1 attacking error. You look at how they've been hitting. Hawaii's hitting 889 right now. Stanford, 333. You usually look at 333 and you're like, hey, they're having a great game. They're hitting really well. But 889 with no errors.
And it's just the pace and the play that Rosenthal is able to push on for the Rainbow Warriors. They're coming out there. He's setting a bunch of different points on the floor. And really, before Stanford's been able to go and throw their block up, we saw a few times Stanford was able to throw up a double, a triple block. And Hawaii's really just been playing like the number 3 team in the nation. They haven't panicked. They didn't try to power through. They were using the block, ripping off fingers, recycling. Hawaii is showing why they're one of the top teams in the nation in hit percentage right now.
You start to wonder if this is a Hawaii team with a bit of a chip on their shoulder. If you Rewind to last year, 2025. They finished second in the Big West behind Long Beach State. They had a conference record of 7 wins, 3 losses as compared to Long Beach State's 8 wins, 2 losses. And then you go into the Big West Tournament Championship, and actually Hawaii goes in and beats Long Beach State in the final 3-1. They make it into the NCAA tournament, and then they lose to UCLA in the NCAA finals in 3 straight sets. And then what happens? UCLA goes on, takes on Long Beach State in the championship, and Long Beach State sweeps UCLA to be the national champion. So Hawaii now coming back into the Big West. They were picked to finish second behind Long Beach State, last year's champion. And you just wonder if they looked at last year and thought, hey, that could have been us.
Oh, 100%. This is a team that was coming off 2 straight back-to-back championships in 2021 versus BYU and 2022 versus Long Beach State, adding a factor into that. And man, 2 of the top conferences in the MPSF as well as the Big West.
Back to action here. It's Adrian War with the serve once again, coming off of a service ace. This time it's received and helped over by the Cardinal, and just out of bounds. It'll be a point. We're watching Big 10 Plus. He's Max Agress. I'm Sarah Ash. And Max, a big timeout taken by the Stanford Cardinal. You'd imagine this was less tactical perhaps and more emotional.
Oh, 100%. You need to get yourself steady and get yourself going right now. You give up a service ace right after the 15th point, and then you just got to really get back down to your fundamentals and get a clean serve receive and play within your system.
A tricky serve by War. It's returned, but just long. Stanford was calling for a tip. They're not going to get it. And a point once again to Hawaii. That's not exactly what you want coming out of a timeout. You want to win that first point back.
Absolutely. Now you're trailing by 7 in a situation where War is putting a ton of pressure on the serve. You just need to take a deep breath, get yourself reset, and try to get a run going.
5-0 scoring run right now for Hawaii. Received off of the Jumbotron and just helped over there by Rotman. Difficult for Hawaii to handle. Kanoa Wade. Stanford saying no, and they'll be right about that one. Kanoa Wade sends it just wide, and the Stanford Cardinal will get the point.
Yeah, gave an opportunity. Didn't have the third blocker come in and block out that lane. A really good read in that situation for Wade to go with the cut shot. Just couldn't quite keep it in play. That is a huge point as Carson Kneisel comes in for the Stanford Cardinal.
Kneisel with a big serve. Received well by War, and my goodness, Justin Todd, that's one you don't want to get in the way of.
Yeah, these guys are just flying. Straight point blank bat. They flew in from Hawaii, and they're still flying through the sky right now.
And perhaps an issue, Max, there have been a couple of those. Specifically, you look at Justin Todd playing in that middle blocker position. He's had a couple of kills where it's been uncontested. There's no arms in front of him.
That just speaks to the talent and the ability of this Hawaiian roster.
Wagner. Good dig on the back line. Hawaii now with the setup.
Oh, those are the opportunities you got to take care of.
Wade. Wade will get the point for Hawaii.
This is something that Stanford's been struggling with a little bit, and when they've struggled overall this season, it's been due to miscommunications. In that situation, Evan Porter doing a great job, a great read, diving down, getting to that position, and then just somebody else coming in, sticking out an arm, trying to keep it up in play. You love the gritty aspect of one of those frontline players, but you got to give yourself the trust and the ability for Porter to cover.
Wade flying through the air and sending it long. So Stanford on a hope and a prayer now, but they have a little bit of life with this serve back. It'll be Moses Wagner, the senior opposite hitter, standing at 6'6", out of San Jose, California. Last year, all MPSF second team.
Wagner's a really aggressive server. Good to see that one stay in play.
Porter gets his hands on it. Stanford will just have to help it over. The setup once again, will that be wide? Yes, it will.
You can really see by the run-up of Luis Sakanoko in this situation, he almost foretells the type of attack he's going to put up there. Got great hops at 6'5" to be able to fly over the top, but you can almost see based on the way he jumps if he's going to go cut shot, if he's going to go power, or what he's going to do.
Wagner into the net.
Yeah, see, those serves that you go long, you feel like, okay, you're giving yourself an opportunity, a very aggressive serve, but the ones that go to the net are the ones you cannot have if you want to upset the number 3 team.
It'll be Kanoa Wade, whose name we have said quite a bit. 4 kills on the day for Wade. Wagner, did it get a touch?
Not a touch, but it went into the antenna. Just a little wide on the attack. And these are things you can go back on in between the set break. I mean, obviously, there's still 3 more points to play to win for Hawaii. As Stanford looking to take their second timeout. But these are the situations where you got to clean things up. You cannot have errors on your own regard. If you're going to have an error, it's going to be a try-hard play. It cannot be a situation where you just have the attack go slightly off your hand in the wrong direction, hitting an antenna, or just things that you can clean up and correct on your own regard.
You mentioned that about the Stanford Cardinal. You've been on every home game on the call for them, and you've seen that as maybe the main thing and the difference between them and other teams that they've played. Obviously not to take away anything from the teams that have beaten the Stanford Cardinal, but you mentioned those errors for them. They are a younger team. That's something that they'll need to clean up. Yeah,
so this team's constructed of a few different setups. You have 10 underclassmen as well as 10 upperclassmen. A lot of the upperclassmen are the ones that are coming in and playing some of these heavy minutes. So this is a team that from last year that has retained a lot of that talent. So it's just a matter of getting consistency going. Some of the younger players, they're sprinkling in here and there, but it really is your upperclassmen. These are your pillars. These are your foundational players, and they just need to get it right point blank.
Last year, Stanford, 13 wins, 15 losses overall. They were 4-8 in conference play. They lost number 5 USC in 4 sets in the semifinals of the MPSF tournament, and that was the end of their season. This year, we mentioned what a heavy schedule they have had. They started off on a 3-game skid. They got their first win versus number 17 UCSB in 5 sets, and ended up splitting those 2 matches between those 2 teams at Maples. And they dropped 2 at UC Irvine, and finally run 2 straight against Jessup and UC Merced, who are the 2 conference wins that they have had. But you look at their schedule, and other than those 2 games they just played against Jessup and UC Merced, every single team has been ranked.
Iron sharpens iron. Now it's a matter of showing it off.
Stanford Cardinal trying to claw some of this back. Rotman. It'll be well received, and that was Jordan flying through the air. Treble Jordan gets the point for Hawaii, who are now just 2 points away from taking their first set.
National team member had gold in the 2025 Norcaca.
Jordan with the serve. That one goes long. Service error for the sophomore middle blocker.
So, trailing by 8 in this situation, it's going to be imperative to Stanford to go ahead and just try to get some of your offense going. There's been too many out-of-system attacks in this first set for the Cardinal. Get a nice clean serve with Duras coming in for the first time, and just get yourself a little momentum carrying into the second.
Ryan Ross, senior outside hitter, a big serve, well received. Here's the back set. Wade blocked by the Cardinal. They'll stay in. Point to the card.
Those are the situations where your block's starting to fill himself. You get a little momentum on the defensive side. Defense builds the offense, and you get yourself going. That is a huge block in that situation. And Duras, one of those service specialists, comes in, and the senior giving them another chance here.
Duras. That'll fly wide.
Ooh, do we see a second challenge? It looks like Costi is looking in. We have a better vantage point than them right there. I thought that one might have stayed in.
It's challengeable, at least from our vantage point, but if you're John Costi, you just have to trust the call of the line judge here. You can't waste a challenge on this.
Yeah, you got to have one remaining set point here for Hawaii.
Hawaii for the set. Here's the setup, and that'll do it.
More so Hawaii with a great read defensively, seeing that one was going to go wide rather than a poor attack from Rotman. Number 3 team in Hawaii, man, just showing off why they are ranked so high.
That's right. Hawaii take set number 1, 25-16. It was Kainoa Wade who led the Rainbow Warriors with 4 kills in just that first set. Hawaii hit 421 through
total attacks, 5 kills, 5 errors, resulting in that 0% hitting percentage.
It's unforced errors, Max, and we talked about this with the Stanford Cardinal. They can't hurt themselves, and you can say this about any team in any sport. When you're playing a top team like Hawaii, ranked number 3 in the nation, but it's not just about the rank, it's about what they can do and how they can punish you. The last thing you can do is punish yourself, because if you do that, you're not even giving yourself a chance at the set. So what we hope to see from the Cardinal here is to come out and just stop making those unforced errors. Forced errors, fine. Unforced, I'm not so sure. You look at the breakdown here, and Theron Briette only had 4 assists. You look at Tree Rosenthal, the setter for Hawaii, with 11 assists, and nobody on this Stanford Cardinal team has more than 1 kill. It's about getting the offense going, too. They haven't found a solution yet.
Yeah, defense feeding into offense. Louis Sakanoko in the back line to get us started here in the second set. High throw, big explosive attack. Briette setting left side. Snooey off the block, popped up. Rotman tried to play it. And that is the offense of Hawaii on full display to start the second set.
There's so much power on this Hawaii side, and it seems like the Cardinal are just simply struggling with the amount of force and the amount of power, and it doesn't just come from one athlete. It comes from the entire side of the court. And Hawaii right now are just simply overpowering Stanford, and if you're the Cardinal, if you can't overpower Hawaii back, how can you get creative with this offense?
Yeah, that's exactly it. You need to get creative. You need to throw up your flares. You need to give yourself an opportunity with some back row attacks, work some tempo into it. You need to play a crafty matchup to get the win. And Hawaii, man, just sneaking in with more service aces. That one, it looked like it might have been a little far side, but keeps in play. 4 service aces for the Rainbow Warriors right now. Briette, quick attack, McFall with the kill. And that is where you want to be for the Cardinal. You need some clean offense, and McFall, your middle blocker, is your sturdiest hand, getting it done.
We're talking about getting creative. That's creative. Get there quick. Let Luke McFall with that short hand, that quick hand, see what he can do.
Briette in the back line to serve. That means there's 3 attackers up front. Stanford very strong offensively right now. Setting the left side, down the line, a sniper with the accuracy is Adrian War.
And there's just not much you can do there if you're Theron Briette. As you said, the accuracy, it was right there. It was just painting that line, and if you're Briette, there's nothing you can do with that.
That's just a great player making a great play. Just a matter of fact, the block was there, gave him very little bit of a line. As Justin Todd sends it too far on the left side. No, they're going to say this one's in play right in front of the Stanford bench. Service aces galore for this Rainbow Warriors squad to start. 5 aces already up to this point. It's only 4 serving 1 here in the second set. Todd once again, dug up by Porter. Briette left side, off the block, a big swing there by Wagner. Now with the quick middle attack. You know, Stanford did it. Coming right back is Treble Jordan to do it himself. Another middle kill with tempo.
Treble Jordan with his 3rd kill right there. And Jordan, there's been a couple times where he's been wide open, uncontested, and we'll add that to the bank of them too.
Todd leads the team in service errors, but man, he is setting up a platter of serve to go. Back row attack, this time Sakanoko getting involved once again. We saw him do it for the pin in the first set, and now he's exploding from that back line.
We're going to see a timeout here by the Stanford Cardinal, and understandably so. This is now a 4-0 scoring run on the part of the Rainbow Warriors, and this is not how you want to start the second set if you're the Stanford Cardinal. You just drop the first one, you come out, and it's 6-1 Hawaii. Hawaii, on the other hand, no notes, absolutely rolling. But there's small issues on both sides for the Stanford Cardinal. I mean, even you look at the digs, just 2 digs so far in this game, and look, we don't see a ton of rallies in men's volleyball, but between these 2 sets, you have to have more than 2 digs to give yourself a fighting chance.
Well, it's really just the placement of the balls from the Hawaiian Rainbow Warriors. Like, Porter's going out there, and he's diving all around. He's trying to get spots, but realistically, they're just targeting who they want to target on the attacks, and the athleticism of the Rainbow Warriors are allowing them to go ahead and just pinpoint wherever they need to go. I mean, have we even seen a block go up to this point for Stanford in the set?
Only, not in this set, only 1 in the match so far, and I think that's a great point there. It's a lot here for head coach John Costi to try to work with. John Costi took over in 2007, 19 seasons under his belt here as head coach. He's in his 20th year. 35 seasons total with the program overall. I'm sure he has the answers. The question is, how quickly can those answers then make their way onto the court? Because it's one thing to draw it up. It's another thing to actually put those into practice. But this is why these 2 match back-to-back sets have just been so interesting. That you look at last year, they split both games. You look at this year, perhaps that's what we'll see, because it's 2 incredible teams, 2 incredible coaches, and adjustments will be made.
Coming up to keep the service going is Justin Todd. Came into this one with 11 service aces. Knocked on a couple of his own regard. Clean receive this time, going middle to McFall. And a free ball over the net. Back row attack. Oh, a little bit of a mistake. An opportunity to get yourself set. The libero to the right side. Teo Snooey getting some momentum for the card.
Maples loved that. Evan Porter, the libero, rising. A back set from Evan Porter. Maples was loving that. Maples, by the way, about half green in here. Hawaii travels well.
The Rainbow Warriors and their Wahine and family and such getting it done. Service error there by the Cardinal, giving the point right back. You cannot have that after a 4-0 run from the Rainbow Warriors. Stanford just can't give themselves an opportunity to keep a rally going themselves. Tread Rosenthal. High serve. Oh, great dig there by Porter. Left side attack into the back row, and that was Rotman. Now the quick attack from the middle. A little miscommunication by Hawaii here. Right side, Wagner. Did he catch a hand? No.
Wagner just mistimed that jump. He rose, and you could tell when he was swinging, he wasn't at the peak of that ball. He got way under it. It might have looked like it got a tip because of that loop that it took, but that's because of that mistimed jump. He just got well under that ball.
This is the main difference up to this point in the match. Stanford, when they make an error, Hawaii capitalizes on it. Hawaii, when they make an error, Stanford isn't able to capitalize on it, as Rosenthal is able to send away an ace. Man, aces are flying. 6 service aces to the 5 service errors. Call these things some spears as they're flying over the net. The Cardinal just unable to collect them cleanly. 9 serving 2. Rosenthal, another tough serve. Briette, quick attack, the middle, and the slam down. Luke McFall has been the offensive option for the Cardinal up to this point.
Yeah, the answer has been Luke McFall. Unexpected. Obviously, he has the capability to do so. Redshirt junior. He's got 15 blocks on the season, but he's also averaging 1.3 kills per set, so he can do it, but the Cardinal are leaning on him a little more than they would have liked to, and more than they have so far this year.
McFall was able to get that ace, working off the block on that left side is Kainoa Wade able to get the point. This has been the difference. Cardinal just have not been able to get a clean offense going from their serve. Adrian War setting up to that back line once more. 10 serving 3. Dug up by Porter. Briette going to the middle, and this time it is Carrera. Right side, hiding behind that flare, and coming up for the kill. Kainoa Wade once more.
Hawaii are picking their spots so beautifully. Whether they're going for the back line or they're hitting that no man's land or they're just painting the sideline, they are so precise with where they're choosing to put this ball.
Service error on that attempt for War. And as you look at the starting roster, you have a lot of sophomores coming out there. The lone juniors are Sakanoka, Greenidge, and Rosenthal, so it's just a real nice mix-up between upperclassmen and younger players that have been getting a lot of the action for this Rainbow Warrior squad. Going with the middle attack, Porter with a great read, setting the left side. It's Rotman off the block. And the overpass turns into another point. Just an errant dig leading to an opportunity from the Rainbow Warriors.
The Rainbow Warriors have just been able to create chaos on the Cardinal side of the net. You can tell in moments like that, the Stanford Cardinal, they're communicating or they're trying to, but it's what the Rainbow Warriors are doing. It's just creating chaos.
Briette to the back row, Snooey getting involved once more. And these are the things that the Cardinal need to get going. You need your tempo, you need your back row attacks, you need to open up the entire offensive playbook right now. And a steady hand and Alex Rotman might give yourself an opportunity to get a little momentum back. 5 serving 12. Rotman sends it in the back line. Setting far side, down the line, Sakanoko does it again.
Well, we're going to be broken records because we're talking about picking our spots. That was not just down the line. It was also placed so perfectly right in front of Rotman, or excuse me, in front of Wagner. There was nothing Wagner could do with that.
Wade gets us going. This one too long. Point over to Stanford. That's Only the 7th service error here by the Rainbow Warriors. Coming into this matchup, you look at the lineup, you got number 4 Wade, number 7 War, number 23 Sakanogo. All of them were within 3 kills. It's just such a balanced attack, and part of the reason why you're the number 2 team in hit percentage in all of the NCAA. Trying to go on 2 that time. Read well by Stanford. Push into the back line. Doesn't get it done on the first try, and Rosenthal on his second attempt. He can do everything.
That was unreal. As you said, unsuccessful on the set dump and just so casual in how he places that last point. He sees out of the corner of his eye with his peripherals that back left corner for the Stanford Cardinal is wide open, and he just finds that space.
This guy's a cheat code. 6'11" as a setter with all the offensive capabilities as well. McFall checks back in and checks up with a kill. Briette into that back line. Haven't had opportunities to really utilize this offense. Briette needs to keep this one in play. Get yourself going. Your strongest block is up in the front right now. Get yourself within system. Briette, aggressive serve. This one goes long. Announcers jinxing that situation.
And this is what we've seen from the Stanford Cardinal. You win the serve, and then you get a service error. And service errors are all fine and good. They happen all the time. But if you're the Cardinal right now, you win the serve back. You have to keep it for at least one.
Finn Kearney coming in, the sophomore out of Phoenix, Arizona. 12th match played on the season. And he comes in as a service specialist. Towards the net, Wagner came poking in. Wagner again out of system, through the block, and it gets the kill. You gotta feel a lot of stress relief on that play for Moses Wagner. He saw the triple block and said, I don't care, I'm pushing it through.
I was gonna say, what a scary prospect to see that in front of you when you're rising if you're Moses Wagner. 3 big bodies in front, he still gets it done.
Can Snooey do it on the 3rd? Keeps this one in play. Couple service errors last time we saw him. But unfortunately for the Cardinal, it's Adrian Ward just going up. You can see that war cry on his face as he gets the point.
A great dig and a great reception there off of the serve from Quentin Greenwich. We haven't yet mentioned the libero here for Hawaii. We've talked a lot about their hitting, but we haven't talked about Quentin Greenwich, the sole transfer that started in this starting lineup today from University of Windsor, and he's been incredible in those big moments.
Wagner with the big swing on the right-hand side. Man, Adrian Ward just showing the entire arsenal. The block was in front of him. Looked like he was a little low on the swing, but just finds a way to get that placement on the line as Stanford forced to take their second timeout here, as it is 17 Hawaii, 8 Stanford. And man, I understand you played some tough opponents up to this point, but I gotta think Hawaii is gonna be the toughest team that you are gonna play this year. And I mean, that's saying something when you have USC, UCLA still up on the schedule for Stanford.
Certainly, I mean, this Hawaiian team, this is a team that's going to contend for a national championship, for a national title. If they don't, I think that they'll be disappointed in that outcome themselves. This is a team that has their sights set on the end of the season, and they're just full steam ahead right to it, and they are certainly firing on all cylinders. The Stanford Cardinal are a team that have taken a little longer to start to get everything firing. It's been a tough schedule. Obviously, that's not an excuse, but, you know, what matters most is when you peak, and the Stanford Cardinal are going to have to hope to peak a little bit later. But you mentioned both of these conferences are so incredible. I mean, the MPSF with UCLA, Pepperdine, USC, Big West, what Hawaii's in with Long Beach State, Hawaii, obviously, UC Irvine, and the addition of a couple more. It's been a fun matchup, but right now, the Stanford Cardinal need answers across the board for this Hawaii attack.
Yeah, this is going to be something where you go back and you look at the film tonight and then trying to just make some type of change up, because really it's just been all Rainbow Warriors. The crowd coming out, cheering on their squad, and they have been putting on a show here at Maples. Teams coming back out to the floor. Rosenthal in that back line once again. Rosenthal coming in. Man, he has been so good, showing his prowess with the sets, with the attacking, and with his service ability. 18 assists, 2 service aces, a dig and 2 blocks for the big number 13 in white. That one might have gone out. Rotman dug it. Rotman with the attack. This time a clean dig by Greenwich. Off the fingertips. Another great job painting it off the block. And man, I've used every description I could possibly have for this Hawaiian team already.
I think I've got another one. Consistent.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
And that's the most important factor. You talk about great teams across any sport. The key thing is consistency. You can have high flyers, you can have hard hitters, you can have athleticism, you can have all of those things, but if you're not consistent, it doesn't matter. And Hawaii are just that. There are no cracks right now in this armor.
McFall and Snooey have been the two best players for Stanford here in the second set. Snooey getting an opportunity with the kill here. Carson Kneisel in that back line. I really want to see Carson Kneisel go ahead, get this one in play, and see if the defense can get an opportunity to set up a clean offense. Kneisel in that last matchup, one of the stars for the Cardinal, but unfortunately, it's Adrian War once again, this time for the near side pin, making it 19-9.
War making that look easy. I mean, that was Rotman going up for the block, and War just was able to evade it. He made it look so simple. Stanford, again, without answers.
War once more. Carrera, right side. Wagner off the block, diving into the board over there on the forehand side. That was a great play by the Rainbow Warriors, but Quentin Greenwich, man, give that guy some flowers. We've been talking about the offense. You mentioned it a moment ago, just diving straight into the radio broadcaster for Hawaii on that forehand side.
Yeah, this is first year with University of Hawaii. He's a member of Canada's U21 team that took silver in 2025. So much national team experience across both of these squads. Yeah, the volleyball world is small, and most of these guys know each other. We already mentioned that Kainoa Wade, for example, was club teammates with Evan Porter.
And also played each other in the state championship out there in Hawaii back in 2024. Going with the back row attack. War is giving them everything they can handle and more. War up to this point, 7 kills on 8 attempts. He is hitting well above 800.
That will be his 8th, in fact.
21 serving 10. Hawaii has been feasting here in the second. Going with the middle attack, Carrera able to get a point back for the Cardinal. The middles have been doing pretty well for this Cardinal team, whether it's Carrera or whether it's McFall.
You mentioned players knowing each other. Carrera with some Hawaii ties. We know University of Hawaii was looking at him when he was a recruit coming out of high school. He chose Stanford.
You know,
now he has a chance to make them regret it.
When you have an opportunity to play at Stanford, that means you have the grades to play at Stanford.
Absolutely.
And when you have the grades to play at Stanford, there are very few schools you'll choose over the Cardinal. Tip this time, great pancake by Wagner. Gets up and swings, but can't keep it in play.
Oh, that would have been absolutely incredible after that pancake by Wagner. If he could get up, get his body in position to get that ball over the net and in play. He gets it over the net, but just wide. As
a former football player, I've done a lot of up-downs in my life, but the ability to get that up-down and then go up and attack in the same sequence, athleticism on display there by Wagner. Going back over to Wagner, back row attack, right into the gut of Wade.
Well, perhaps the Cardinal have found a bit of an answer. They can't get Wagner going up at the net. Perhaps they need him coming in more from the back line in that type of attack.
In these situations, sometimes it's less about the X's and O's and more about the Jimmies and Joes. And in this moment, you go to your bigger players. Moses Wagner, a big-time player, standing at 6'6" out of San Jose. Hometown player coming up with a big point. Luke Morrison checked in to get that first serve. And no answer by the way of Wade's attack. Just off the fingertips, off the arm of Wagner. No timeouts left here for the Cardinal as they trail 23-12. Luis Sakanoko got us started here in the second set. And he will return for his third stint here. High serve, aggressive, and it goes long. Trailing by 10 in the situation. We spoke about it moments ago, or at the end of the first set, I should say. Just give yourself a little bit to build off of. In this situation, this is where you want to be. A strong unit, one of your strongest units on the floor. Briette able to keep this one in play on a great drop serve. Right side, McFall with the dig. Briette, left side, Snooey with the miscommunication slightly by the Hawaii block, and Snooey able to capitalize on the off speed.
Max, she took the words right out of my mouth. The scoreline right now of this set isn't indicating how the Stanford Cardinal team in the last 5 points have been able to find some answers, and that's what matters if you're the Stanford Cardinal. At the end of this set, no matter how it ends, you've started to find a couple of answers that you didn't have before, and that's going to create some momentum.
And you need some answers with those serves going into the net. Unfortunately for the Cardinal, that serve from Briette finds the twine, and now it's set point here in the second set. 24 serving 14. As the Rainbow Warriors leading the match 1-0 up to this point. Justin Todd, too long, man. That one went all the way into the stands on the backhand side.
It had some fire on it. He just got a little too underneath it with that kind of power. You have to make sure you get over that ball, and he just didn't.
Those fans getting loud and proud here. Snooey sends it long in his own regard. A service error, that'll be the 9th of the evening for the Cardinal, as it is 25-15 here in the second set. It has been all Hawaii all the way, and the Cardinal have got a tall talent here, and this is the team that got that dominating victory in the sweep over UC Merced. The youth for Stanford is incredibly talented, so now let's see if they can carry that momentum from that last matchup when they just dominated the Bobcats, and see if they can find some answers with these guys. Jacob Little-Phillips coming in alongside David Wolf, who got his first playing time against the Bobcats last matchup, and the lone anchor right there in the middle for Luke McFall.
I was about to say Luke McFall, a redshirt junior, will be the leader on this squad. Evan Porter still out there as well, the libero, but it will be number 4, freshman setter Jacob Little-Phillips with the first serve, that one into the net.
Little-Phillips has such a nice serve. He goes up with such aggression, had 3 service aces in the last matchup against the Bobcats, but in that situation, once again, you cannot send it into the net. You need to at least get it over.
Perhaps some jitters, nevertheless. Hawaii takes an early lead, and now it will be none other than Treed Rosenthal. A big serve and a big dig. That one was Wolf on the Stanford side. Flying in was Ask. Now it's Stanford with a big block, and once again, Eric Ask, the freshman outside hitter, he came up big twice in a row.
15 kills in the last matchup, hitting .522. Eric Ask gave us everything we can ask for, and he comes out and does it again.
6'9" outside hitter from Sweden, and he will serve now for the Cardinal.
Out of Västerås, Sweden.
Huge pancake right there from War.
And that's off the fingertips. McFall tried to retract, but couldn't get those digits back in time.
Adrian War back to serve for Hawaii. War having a great day, 7 kills on the day. He's hitting .667.
You know, and the team just happens to be hitting .550.
By the way, he's got 2 service aces. He's trying to add to that. He'll have to wait a little longer if he's going to. That one flies long, and it will be Luke McFall to head back to the service line for the Stanford Cardinal. McFall, second to only Snooey in kills today, and he's also got 2 service aces leading the squad from the service line tonight.
First 2 of the season.
McFall sends it long, so we just go back and forth.
Yep, that's men's volleyball for you.
We'll trade opportunities, and we'll try a new server now for Hawaii. For the Rainbow Warriors, it will be Justin Todd, redshirt sophomore.
And Todd has been that consistent piece in the back line. All the major runs Hawaii has gone on, it's been off of the service of Todd.
Here's Todd, little roll serve. Here's the setup, flying in from the back line. Eric Ask being asked to do a lot and rising to the challenge.
That's what you got to do. You hide behind the flare of Carrera right there in the middle. You go into your back line attacking, and your outside hitters being able to be consistent scoring options from the back line are going to be one of the ways you get back into it.
Luke Morrison, freshman opposite with the serve, just long.
Morrison's been one of those guys that has come up in big moments as well. You got to keep those serves in play, man.
So once again, Kainoa Wade, sophomore opposite for Hawaii. will serve, leading his squad in kills on the day, but he had no service aces until that one right there, his first of the night.
Yeah, just a really tough rotation on the ball. Didn't know if it was going to go long or if he needed to get the dig. Eric Ass shoving his hands out at the last possible moment and just clipped it.
Here's Wade once again. That one goes long. Stanford Cardinal will take the point.
And that's a good read from that back line of the Cardinal. You go out there, you see that one was going to go out. You made a mistake last time. Don't make it 2 times in a row.
This will be David Wolf, sophomore outside hitter out of Willamette. And Max, this is 5-4 Hawaii right now. Too early to say if this has been the answer for the Stanford Cardinal.
Well, it's just a change-up and a look right now. Hawaii still got their starters out on the floor. They come out there and they're showing up for their home, or for their crowd that's making it feel like it's home right now over there at the Baco Arena. But yeah, for Stanford, showing a few different looks and possibly giving yourself opportunity to show up what you've got going into the matchup tomorrow.
Sakanoko with the serve. Hawaii will retain the serve and get that point, and Sakanoko will head back to the service line once again. He's got 1 service ace on the day, 6 kills. A good day for Louis Sakanoko, hitting .455.
Yeah, it has been sunshine and rainbows for the Warriors.
I like what you did there. Coming in from the back line, my goodness. David Wolf put a little extra heat on that one, and there was nothing Hawaii could do.
Volleyball Mag Fab 50 player in his 2nd season here for the Cardinal. Hasn't had a lot of opportunities to play, but has showed up in these situations. And it's going to be all about showing your depth and the ability to really just go top to bottom with your talent.
Wolf, this is just his 3rd appearance on the year. Here's a serve from Carrera. That one, Hawaii making it look easy. That was Jordan.
Every single time Carrera served tonight, he has a softer bit of a serve. And if you give Hawaii no pressure on that serve, they are just going to go ahead and do anything and everything that they want. You saw on display. Clean option, set up the offense, quick point.
Treble Jordan with the serve for the Rainbow Warriors. Stanford blocked on the return. Now let's see what they can do here in system. Blocked at the net. Can the Cardinal keep it in? It'll be helped over by Ask. Here's the setup from Rosenthal, flying in. War. It was a fake out. It looked like it would be Todd. Instead it was War right behind Todd. And
the one thing I really like what Stanford's doing with this young unit is they're over-communicating right now. They're going ahead, they're saying, hey, it's on you, and they're just saying everything out loud. That's what you need to do when you have this younger unit out, and they'll find success with it.
Back set, the lefty coming flying in. That was Luke Morrison on the attempt. Here's War, able to hit the shoulders of Morrison and get the point for Hawaii.
You know, if Morrison just didn't hit the gym so much, maybe he would have been able to dodge that one. The boulder on his left stand, the head coach.
With the program, yeah, overall.
The program.
Interestingly enough, both of these head coaches, and Charlie Wade for Hawaii and John Costi for the Stanford Cardinals, spent time as assistant coaches for their respective programs before becoming head coaches. Charlie Wade had a stop along the way at Pacific as the women's head coach before he came back to Hawaii and took over as the men's head coach here. And first point back is awarded to Hawaii. Another time for the Stanford Cardinal that we've seen them take a timeout, come out, and not win that first point back.
You had the look that you wanted. Unfortunately, Ask wasn't able to deliver, though.
Soft serve. Here's the setup from Little Phillips.
Oh, nasty. I like to call that minus tempo. So first tempo, you're essentially right there. The ball is there as you set it, and the swing is coming. But it's almost like you're playing into the future. McFall was already at the very tip, just going up and showing off their abilities.
Little Phillips, the setter, will serve again. That's the kind of timing. They make it look easy, but you have to have a great relationship between hitter and setter. Sometimes that comes more naturally than others, and sometimes you have to really work on it. Some chaos at the net here, and that point will go to Hawaii.
Yeah, I believe it might have been Luke McFall who got his hands under the ball, and as he lifted it up, he probably touched the bottom of the net.
Yeah, lifted it into the net, and it will be Rosenthal, the setter for the Rainbow Warriors.
And something you got to factor in for the Cardinal as well. They've got their freshman setter in right now in Little Phillips, so it's a little bit of a different look as well.
Little Phillips with a back set. Coming flying in was Ask. He'll get it over. Here's the back set now. Wade on the far side. Well received by the Cardinal. Ask again. He paints the line. There was a touch on it, and Stanford will get the point. Eric Ask has come into this game. He's been flying through the air in this third set, and that'll be a second kill on the evening.
Eric Ask coming up, and he's hit it right through the hands of the block of Hawaii. It hit the head of the blocker.
It'll be Ask with the serve. Well received. Here's a setup from Rosenthal. Wade now on the left side. Blocked. McFall taking advantage of the error and tallying one for the card.
Luke Morrison's only 6'4", only 6'4", but man, is he strong. When you go there in the middle with McFall, you have a lot of strength on that block. And Stanford only sending 2 blockers in that situation, but their strength and their power and their prowess on display.
Ask standing at 6'9". They'll get this one over. Here's the setup. And there was a tip as well. No tip.
Yeah, it just went wide. The block just somehow found a way to get their hands off it at the last possible second. And some momentum for the Cardinal here with the service of Ask. 3-0 run from the card.
Here's Ask with the serve into the net.
Freshman.
I'll say what I always say, which is, it looks like there was a tip from my vantage point, but I certainly have a worse one than our referees here, so we'll let them do their job.
You know, just standing up there on that top line right there at net level.
One of the more underappreciated jobs in all of sports, and now it will be Adrian War with the serve. Here's the set. The lefty, Luke Morrison, can't keep it in.
Yeah, no block went up from him, and then just a really tough angle as he was pushed really towards that pin.
War once again will serve it up for the Rainbow Warriors. McFall with the reception. Here's the setup, blocked at the net and out of bounds. Pumped is David Wolf, the sophomore. Tallies that point for the card.
David Wolf in his first real showing, 4 kills, 9 attempts, hitting 444 in that situation. He saw the block come up early, decided to parry it off the block, get the point. Big swing and a big point here for the card.
Yeah, Wolf just playing his 5th set of the year so far, and it'll be Carson Kneisel with the serve.
Nice looking serve.
Wade, he's just been on fire tonight. It feels like if you go to him, you'll probably tally the point. Kanoa Wade with 9 kills right now. He's hitting 467 with a service ace as well.
You know what it feels like? Every single time Hawaii gets the point, it's like, hey, everything you can do, I can do better. And that's just how it's gone tonight for the Rainbow Warriors.
So this will be Finn Kearney, sophomore outside hitter, who will serve for the Rainbow Warriors in the lead 15-10 in this third set over the Stanford Cardinal. Also up 2-0, trying to close it out.
Only the second time we've seen Finn Kearney. Unfortunately for him, service error there. A very tight set here, as it's 11-15. The young guns coming in. There, shots blazing.
So it'll be the lefty Luke Morrison, freshman, opposite, standing at 6'4". He'll get it over, well received. Here's the setup, oh my goodness. We've seen that before.
Yeah, but more than anything, that set from Rosenthal was crazy. If he wasn't 6'11", I don't think he could have got there. That ball was drifting. It looked like it was going to go over on an overpass, but instead draws it back and lining up Sakanoko.
Kanoa Wade with the serve, received by Porter. Here's the setup, short swing. And now Hawaii looking for an answer. A rare rally that we're seeing now coming flying in from the back line is Ask. Sakanoko, he'll hit the net and the point will go to the Cardinal.
Yeah, one run into the antenna, both teams fighting at the joust. A good read from Stanford, seeing how far into that pin Sakanoko was. And man, at that vantage point, only about 10 degrees of an angle to attack at. That is one of the toughest attacks, and you can see why he had that error.
Ryan DeRoss will check in for David Wolf and head to the service line, the senior outside hitter. Coming back in. There's DeRoss, and he'll tally it.
He's a service specialist for a reason.
Ryan DeRoss with his 3rd service ace on the year. When he wants to, he can put some heat on it. It can be a high-risk, high-reward situation, and right there it's high reward as he gets set for his 2nd serve. DeRoss again, this time received well by War. Sakanoko blocked at the net and out of bounds.
Great block, great read by the Cardinal, but unfortunately, put a little too much power under it.
Well, it was a good read by the blockers for the Stanford Cardinal, but as you said, with that much power, you have to try to direct that back down, and instead it flies all the way out. So it will be Sakanoko, the junior. He can play the opposite. He can play outside hitter. He can play either of the pins. 6'5" out of Paris, and that flies into the net.
Yeah, a lot of international players, whether it's from Israel, whether it's from France, whether it's from Norway. You're seeing a lot of global play on display on the floor on both sides.
Hawaii, a storied program in men's volleyball. They've moved from the MPSF to the Big West. In addition to that, who wouldn't want to go play in Hawaii?
Yeah.
And Sakanoko thought he'd just take a chance, and why not?
Yeah,
Stanford.
especially a sport that's so beloved like volleyball in Hawaii. One of the premier spots for a reason.
Well, Stanford had crept back into this third one. It's 15 serving 17 now, and it will be Ryan Gant.
Yeah, dual servers, or dual setters, I should say.
Here's the setup. And Adrian War. He VCA All-America first team last year, Big West Championship, most outstanding player, Big West first team. Well, the accolades just continue, but I'll stop there.
Let me add one more aspect. That's as a freshman.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, that says everything you need to know. Hit the top of the mountaintop as a freshman.
There's a setup, an awkward one at that. Aircast did what he could with it, but sends it wide.
And the biggest difference in why Hawaii has been able to get a few more points off in this situation is just miscommunication. You need to go back to it. You're getting out of system. You need to get back in system. Allow yourself opportunities. Costi might be coming up and challenging, using a second.
If he does, I like this move. It's full team, but they certainly have been putting it all out there. Some of these errors that they've been making are just simple timing errors or simple miscommunication errors that you look at and you know they'll get cleaned up if they can just play together for a couple more sets. So very small errors. And speaking of errors, a service error to lead us out by Jordan of Hawaii. So Stanford Cardinal will tally that point. It will be the freshman setter, Jacob Little-Phillips. We'll head to the line. 5
service errors already for Hawaii in this set. They've averaged 5 in both of the first 2.
Big serve and a big reception. Back set now, flying in from the back line. Who else but Kainoa Wade?
Man, these numbers are unreal.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. You look in, they're hitting close to 500. You have players, outside hitters, nonetheless, hitting 426, hitting 418. Like, it's unbelievable.
Kainoa Wade, that was his 11th kill on the day. Adrian Orr with 10. Those two both in double digits. Right behind them is Sakanoko with 9. Here's a good rally, good block at the net. Coming in all the way from the back line is Wolf. Here's the return. Wade!
Yep, that's the tough part. When you go in there and you go on your backline attack, sometimes it's hard to get back to your spot defensively, and that's what we saw.
Well, tally the 12th for Kainoa Wade, and sometimes when you're having a night, there's just nothing anybody else can do. He's hitting 588, by the way.
Crazy.
Hawaii hitting 500 now in the entire match across these now 2.5 sets. Another joust at the net. Oh, my goodness.
Once again, 6'11" as a setter. He's a create your character in a video game.
Well, as you said before, Max, if he wasn't 6'11", there's no way that play even happens. As your setter's standing there, he tips the ball back, and it's a quick 1-2 punch. We can talk about his height, we can talk about his athleticism, but we also have to give credit where credit is due to Rosenthal, who just sent that serve wide. His court vision is impeccable.
I mean, how are you coordinated like that at 6'11"? You're a 7-footer, and you have the coordination of a smaller athlete. It's crazy.
Certainly one of the most wild things about men's volleyball is none of these men are moving like they're as tall as they are. And let's just get other people going. Adrian War, he'll get back in the party. He'll tally his 11th kill on the evening, second on this Hawaiian team.
Yeah, like if you're watching from the stands or watching on camera, it doesn't look like these guys are that tall, but every single one of them, it's like you're watching an NBA team, but they're even taller.
Great dig by Porter. Here's the setup, flying in from the back line was asked. It'll be returned. Oh my goodness. Justin Todd, again, talk about court vision. Todd saw that before the ball even got to him. He knew exactly where he wanted to go, and there's no answer for that.
Set and match point for Hawaii for a reason.
24 serving 17. And as he just said, set point, match point for Hawaii, and that'll do it. It's a service ace for Adrian Orr to close it out.
8 service aces for the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors as they go to 11-1. They got a tall task as we go into the matchup tomorrow. This Rainbow Warriors squad has showed why they're the number 3 team in the nation, and somehow against a very crafty team in Stanford, hit .515, and they'll take their hit percentage up from the number 2 team in the nation. Oh my, man, hat off for you guys.
An absolute showing by the Rainbow Warriors, who have come into Maples Pavilion and certainly made a statement. Max,
yeah.
you mentioned a couple of the numbers. They hit .515 on the day. 8 service aces, 20 digs. Stanford Cardinal, on the other hand, 145 hitting percentage on the day. Just 4 service aces, 11 digs for the Cardinal. For Hawaii, it was Kanoa Wade with 12 kills. He led the team. War with 11. He came in second on this squad, and it was Sakanoko with 9. I mean, you just look across the board, though, a wide distribution as well. Hawaii were able to do it really from anybody on the court. This is a tough one for the Stanford Cardinals.